Start talking. Sophia reached into her bag. Instead of a weapon, she removed an old newspaper. The headline read, "Massive Fire Kills 8 During Police Raid." Date, 14 years earlier. She pointed toward the photograph printed beneath the article. 8 burned bodies. Except there were actually 9 people standing in the picture taken before the fire. One face had been blacked out, removed, cut away. Sophia whispered, "That's your 24th guest." Adrian stared at the missing silhouette. Who erased him? Sophia looked directly into his eyes. The same people trying to erase you. Before Adrian could ask another question, the archive lights suddenly turned red. A mechanical voice echoed through the building. Lockdown activated. Heavy steel doors slammed shut throughout the archive. Someone had trapped them inside. Then, a slow clap echoed from the darkness. 1, 2, 3. A man's voice broke the silence. "I've waited a long time to meet you again, Adrian." Adrian recognized the voice instantly. Impossible. Because the owner of that voice had been buried 6 years ago. The slow clap echoed through the archive. 1, 2, 3. "I've waited a long time to meet you again, Adrian." Every muscle in Adrian's body locked. He knew that voice. Calm, confident, almost amused. Impossible. Because the last time Adrian had heard it, the man had been lying beneath a collapsed warehouse, surrounded by flames. Dead, or so everyone believed. A tall figure stepped out of the darkness. Gray suit, black gloves, silver hair. Not a single scar despite the fire that should have killed him. He smiled. "You look disappointed." Adrian kept his pistol aimed directly at his chest. "I watched you die. You watched what I wanted you to see." Sophia slowly stepped backward. Her hands trembled. The man noticed. "Relax, Sophia. You've done exactly what I asked." Adrian turned toward her. "You brought me here." She couldn't meet his eyes. "I'm sorry. I had no choice." The man laughed softly. "Everyone has a choice." He walked closer. His footsteps echoed through the endless rows of dusty files. "My name won't mean much anymore." He paused. "But 14 years ago, people called me Victor Kane." Adrian's heartbeat slowed. Victor Kane, the architect of Operation Black Harbor. Officially, the operation had ended with Kane's death. Unofficially, nothing had ever made sense. 6 undercover officers killed, millions of dollars missing, evidence disappearing overnight. Every witness either vanished or died. Adrian had spent years believing he had failed. Now he realized he had never been allowed to succeed. "You leaked the operation." Victor smiled. "No." "You did." Adrian frowned. Victor continued walking. "You simply didn't know it." Ross arrived outside the city archives minutes later. Police vehicles surrounded the building. Emergency lights reflected off the rain-soaked streets. An officer ran toward him. "Every entrance is sealed. Anyone inside?" "We detected 3 heat signatures." Ross looked toward the building. 3? Adrian, Sophia, and who was the third? His radio crackled. "Detective, the commissioner is on his way." Ross cursed quietly. If the commissioner arrived, Adrian wouldn't leave alive. Inside, Victor stopped beside an old wooden table. On top rested dozens of yellowed case files. He opened one. Operation Black Harbor. He slid it across the table. "Read page 32. Adrian never lowered his weapon. Instead, he opened the file with one hand. His eyes scanned the page, then stopped. Authorization code AC-17. His initials. His signature. No. Victor nodded. Exactly. I never signed this. You didn't. Then how? Someone signed it for you. Adrian looked at Sophia. She shook her head. It wasn't me. Victor smiled again. You've spent 6 years searching for a traitor. He leaned closer. The truth is much simpler. There wasn't one. There were dozens. A loud metallic bang echoed through the archive. The lockdown doors shook. Police were trying to force their way inside. Victor didn't even look toward the sound. They're too late. Adrian finally asked the question that had haunted him since Matteo's murder. Why kill Matteo? Victor looked almost disappointed. Because he became honest. Silence. He wanted to expose everyone. The politicians, the judges, the police, the families. He forgot the first rule. What rule? Victor's smile disappeared. No empire survives the truth. Sophia suddenly stepped forward. It's over, Victor. He looked at her. You really believe that? She reached inside her coat. Adrian instantly aimed at her. Victor didn't move. Instead, Sophia pulled out a small flash drive. I copied everything. Victor's eyes narrowed for the first time. The bank records, the recordings, the payments, the names, they're all here. Victor slowly exhaled. You've disappointed me. I can live with that. No, you won't. Before Adrian could react, Victor pulled a tiny remote from his pocket. One click. A deafening explosion echoed somewhere beneath the building. The floor shook violently. Lights flickered. Dust rained from the ceiling. Shelves collapsed around them. Ancient files scattered across the floor. Another explosion. Closer. Victor looked almost amused. I always destroy the evidence. Outside, Ross watched smoke rise from the basement ventilation shafts. Oh no. His radio exploded with frantic voices. Explosion inside. Possible structural collapse. We're losing the building. Ross didn't wait for orders. He grabbed an axe from the rescue team. I'm going in. An officer grabbed his arm. The commissioner ordered nobody enters. Ross shoved him away. Then tell the commissioner to arrest me later. He disappeared into the smoke. Inside, the archive had become a maze of falling shelves and broken concrete. Adrian grabbed Sophia's arm. We have to move. Victor calmly walked in the opposite direction, almost casually, as if he already knew every explosion. Because he did. He had planned them. Adrian fired. One shot. Victor ducked behind a collapsing shelf. The bullet shattered old filing cabinets. When the dust settled, Victor was gone. Only his voice echoed through the darkness. You still chased the wrong man, Adrian. Sophia suddenly froze. She stared toward a damaged wall. There! Hidden behind fallen shelves, a massive steel vault stood exposed. Its heavy door had burst open during the explosion. Inside, not gold, not money. Thousands of paper files, photographs, hard drives, videotapes. Every crime, every payment, every politician, every judge, every police officer. Decades of corruption. Sophia whispered, this could destroy the entire city. Adrian looked at the evidence, then toward the burning hallway where Victor had disappeared. He had an impossible decision. Chase the man responsible, or save the proof that could bring down an empire. Another explosion answered for him. Flames rushed toward the archive. The evidence would burn within minutes. Adrian clenched his jaw. We saved the files. Sophia looked shocked. And Victor? He'll run. Exactly. He always runs. Adrian grabbed 2 hard drives and several folders. Not this time. Far above them, Victor watched through a hidden security camera. He smiled. He chose the evidence. He turned toward another man standing beside him. You were right. The stranger nodded. He always chooses justice. Victor's smile widened. That's why he'll lose. The stranger stepped into the light. Only part of his face became visible, enough for Victor to speak his name. Mr. Commissioner. The commissioner stepped into the light. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't even hiding anymore. Victor smiled. I told you he'd choose the evidence. The commissioner nodded. He always chooses justice. Adrian raised his pistol. So this was never about Matteo? The commissioner laughed. Matteo was a problem. He wanted to expose everything. He forgot who built this city. Sophia placed the flash drive inside her pocket. It ends tonight. The commissioner looked at her with pity. No. It ends when people stop asking questions. Without warning, he pulled a handgun. 2 shots echoed through the archive. Sophia screamed. The flash drive slipped from her hands and slid across the floor. Adrian fired back. Victor disappeared into the smoke. The commissioner ducked behind a concrete pillar. Flames spread across the ceiling. The building groaned. It was about to collapse. Ross finally reached the archive vault. He found Adrian pinned behind a fallen shelf. I'm getting you out. Forget me. Adrian pointed toward the steel vault. Take the files. Ross looked inside. Hundreds of names, judges, politicians, police commanders. Every secret was there. If these burn, the truth dies. Ross nodded. I'll get them out. The commissioner sprinted toward the exit. He grabbed the flash drive. Before he could escape, a single shot echoed through the archive. He stopped, looked down. Blood spread across his white shirt. Victor lowered the smoking pistol. The commissioner stared at him in disbelief. You... Victor shrugged. No loose ends. The commissioner collapsed, dead. Victor looked at Adrian one last time. This city will always need men like me. Then he disappeared into the flames. The ceiling collapsed. Ross dragged Adrian and Sophia outside seconds before the archive was swallowed by fire. Firefighters rushed in. Police surrounded the streets. Reporters arrived within minutes. For the first time in years, the city watched powerful people being arrested instead of protected. The evidence had survived. The empire had not. 3 weeks later, Adrian sat alone on a quiet pier overlooking the ocean. Ross joined him. They're calling you a hero. Adrian smiled faintly. They'll forget by next week. Ross handed him a sealed envelope. No return address. Inside was a single photograph. Victor Kane, standing in an airport. The picture had been taken yesterday. On the back, only 6 words were written. You won the battle, not the war. Adrian folded the photograph and stood. Ross looked at him. Where are you going? Adrian stared toward the horizon. To finish what I started. As he walked away, somewhere across the ocean, Victor Kane smiled from the window of a private jet. The hunt had only changed countries. If you like this type of story, like, share, and subscribe to my channel.